In a sky painted with soft morning pastels lived a little cloud named Nimbo. He was small and fluffy, like a cotton ball tossed high into the air, while all the other clouds were big and bold, drifting majestically across the blue canvas. Nimbo often hid behind them, feeling plain and ordinary. More than anything, Nimbo dreamed of shining. He would watch the sunrise each morning, a magnificent golden star that bathed the world in light. "Oh, how I wish I could glow like that," he would sigh to his reflection in a dewdrop on a leaf far below. "But I'm just ... small." He believed his size was his destiny, a small cloud meant for small things. One sunny afternoon, while drifting over a vast green meadow, Nimbo heard a soft, delicate sound. It was the sound of weeping. Peeking from behind the large, puffy cloud, he saw something extraordinary. Huddled behind a cluster of buttercups was a splash of colors, shimmering and trembling. It was a rainbow, but it looked lost and faded, its vibrant stripes smudged with sadness. "Hello," Nimbo whispered, floating down a little closer. The rainbow looked up, its colors flickering. "I'm lost," it sniffled. "A big gust of wind blew me away from the rainstorm, and now my colors are all dull. I can't find my way back, and I'm losing my glow." Nimbo's little cloud heart felt a pang of sympathy. He forgot all about being small and shy. "Don't worry," he said softly. "I'm not very big, but I can try to help you. Where did you last see the storm?" The rainbow pointed a pale red stripe towards the distant, hazy mountains. "It was over there," it whispered, "but it's so far away now." Nimbo looked towards the mountains. They seemed impossibly far. He knew he couldn't push the rainbow all that way by himself. He felt his old doubts creeping back. Just then, a playful rustle tickled his edges. It was Sepir, a gentle breeze, who loved to dance with the dandelions. "What's wrong, little cloud?" Zephyr hummed, swirling around him. "This little rainbow is lost," Nimbo explained, "and I don't know how to get it all the way to the mountains." Zephyr zipped over to the rainbow, giving it a comforting little spin. "Well, you can't push it," the breeze chirped, "but maybe we can guide it. If I give it a gentle nudge and you lead the way, we can travel together." Nimbo's spirit lifted. He wasn't alone. With renewed hope, he turned to the rainbow. "Hold on tight," he said. "Zephyr will give you a little push, and I'll be your guide. We'll find your storm." The rainbow's colors brightened just a little. A tiny spark of hope had been lit, so their journey began. Nimbo floated ahead, a small, determined puff of white against the vast blue. Zephyr swirled and danced behind the rainbow, nudging it gently forward. It was slow going. Nimbo had to navigate around tall trees and weave through valleys, always looking back to make sure his new friends were close behind. As they traveled, Nimbo started telling stories to keep the rainbow's spirits up. He told it about the funny shapes the big clouds made, about the birds he'd met, and the patterns the stars drew at night. With every story, with every kind word, the rainbow's colors seemed to grow a little brighter. Its red became a deeper crimson, its orange a warmer apricot, and its yellow a sunnier gold. But the journey wasn't without challenges. As they crossed a wide river, a grumpy gust of wind tried to blow them off course. It blustered and puffed, trying to separate them. Nimbo, who would normally have been terrified, found a new courage. He puffed himself up as much as he could and stood firm. "Leave us be," he shouted with a voice much bigger than he thought he had. "We are on an important mission." Zephyr, seeing Nimbo's bravery, swirled around the grumpy gust, tickling and teasing it until it huffed and puffed its way to another part of the sky. Nimbo had protected his friends. He felt a warmth spreading through him, a feeling he had never experienced before. It wasn't the heat of the sun, but something just as wonderful. As they neared the mountains, they could hear the distant rumble of thunder. The air grew cooler and smelled of rain. The rainbow began to vibrate with excitement. "We're close. I can feel it," it cried. its colors now glowing brilliantly. Nimbo led them up the final slope, and there it was, a magnificent dark gray storm cloud, flashing with gentle lightning and pouring down a refreshing rain. "You're back," the storm cloud boomed, its voice like a gentle drum roll. The little rainbow soared forward, rejoining the storm in a perfect, dazzling arc that stretched from one side of the valley to the other. It was more beautiful than ever before. It pulsed with light and gratitude, shining its colors down on Nimbo and Zephyr. "Thank you, little cloud," the rainbow's voice echoed across the valley. "You saved me. You showed me the way." As Nimbo looked at the brilliant arc he had helped restore, he felt that strange, warm feeling again, but this time it was even stronger. It filled him from his fluffy top to his wispy bottom. And then something magical happened. A soft, golden light began to emanate from within him. It wasn't the blazing light of the sun, but a gentle, warm, and comforting glow. Nimbo looked down at his own reflection in a puddle below and gasped. He was shining. He was actually shining. The storm cloud rumbled with a chuckle. "True brightness, little one, doesn't come from being big or powerful. It comes from the kindness in your heart and the courage to help others." Zephyr, the breeze, danced around Nimbo, celebrating his new light. "You did it, Nimbo! You learned to shine." From that day on, Nimbo was no longer the shy, ordinary cloud hiding in the sky. He was Nimbo, the cloud with the golden glow. He still wasn't the biggest, but he had the biggest heart. He spent his days guiding lost birds, comforting frightened flowers during storms, and playing with his friend Zephyr. And whenever he floated by, he left a little trail of warmth and light, reminding everyone that even the smallest among us can learn to shine in their own special way. He had found a brightness that came not from wishing to be like the sun, but from being truly, wonderfully himself. Thank you so much for joining us on this magical journey with Nimbo. We hope his story reminded you that your own special light comes from being kind and brave. If you enjoyed our story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more adventures. We'll see you next time.